Okay, good morning, everyone. We will go ahead to the Students at Work Skilled Trades Industry Spotlight Day. We're glad to have you with us today. And my name is Robin Mooring, and I'm the program coordinator for Students at Work. And now I am just going to go ahead and turn it over to Ben Thomas and Ethan Lynch with R.D. Graham Electric.
Good morning, virtual world. We're coming to you live from R.D. Graham Electric in Greensboro, North Carolina. We are a commercial electric company. We do a lot of cool things, which we're going to talk about this morning. Primarily, we're involved with building new buildings, doing the electrical installation for new buildings. And myself, Ben Thomas, and my partner, Ethan Lynch, are going to try to give you a little bit of an idea of what that looks like in our world. So there's three things we're going to go over this morning. The first thing we're going to do is talk about what we do as a company as it relates to what we find value in. Here on the left, we very much are about these core things. We have a training facility here in Greensboro, North Carolina, that we train our apprentices. We have a 4-year apprenticeship program. And a lot of the items that we talk about when we're teaching our new electricians is that we always want to do things with trust. We want to do our work with integrity. We're really big on workmanship and making sure that the skills that we learn, that we take pride in them and we implement them each day that we come to work. Initiative, electricians have to have initiative, a desire to work hard and to maintain timelines. Teamwork is really big in the electrical installation. The industry itself, the electrician has to be a team player. They have to be able to get along with each other to get the job done and the task done. They have to be able to work with other trades. So a lot of the individuals that you'll meet today, we work with them. And it's really cool because we get to interact a lot with teamwork. Honesty is very important to us. We want to make sure that we're doing our jobs in an honest manner. Great attitude is important to our company. Commitment, being committed to what you do. Safety, which is the second thing we're going to talk about here a little bit more detail, but safety is very important to us. And then finally, and it's last but not least, is quality. So as an electrician, these are a lot of the core things that we want to instill in our new electricians, and we want our leadership to maintain. So let's go back to safety. As you can see, I'm wearing my hard hat today. We have our safety glasses. Hearing protection is very important. I have my banner over here, a figure of what we expect every day on a job site, and I'll tell you why. You see the hard hat, safety glasses. We have a vest, whereas Ethan has right now, he's got a color specific that people can see readily in yellow. Gloves, of course, are very important, and safety boots. And the reason these things are important, and the reason why they're a part of our commitment here, is that the trades, all of the trades can be dangerous. So there's a lot of things that we teach new electricians and expect our employees to do. Wearing your personal protective equipment like we have on this morning is the utmost importance, because we want you guys to protect the hands you have, the head that you have, your eyes, so that you go home each day and you can perform your job in a safe manner. The third thing that we're going to do this morning is we're going to, Ethan, my partner here, he's going to cover a few things about the job, and I'm going to turn it over to him and kind of let him show you some stuff.
Good morning, everybody. As Ben said, I'm Ethan Lynch. I'm a 2nd-year apprentice electrician helper here at R.D. Graham. I'm just going to go over kind of your day-to-day tools that we have. As you can see, I have my tool belt on. It pretty much doesn't come off when you're on a job site. Think of it as carrying around your book bag all day, but never taking it off. You have a variety of different tools you have to use. We have different kinds of screwdrivers. Got this long flathead here, and then I've got a shorter multi-screwdriver that has all these different kinds of bits for different jobs that we have. We have different screws, connectors, which are these here, and different couplings. Also have, probably the most important, are these, which are your side cutters. Pretty much you can do almost every task with these, or a lot of guys say if you can't do most tasks with these, then you don't need to be an electrician. We use different power tools. We've got drills, we've got saws, but like Ben said, that's where wearing the proper equipment and everything comes into play. So I was going to demonstrate for you guys kind of some of that today. We've got 2 boxes here, and we've got our piece of conduit here. So what we do kind of on an everyday thing, part of our job is running conduit. It's a piece of electro metallic tubing. Yep. But it's essentially pipe. So we use this St. Patty's Day ready Greenlee pipe bender. And what we'll do, let's see. There we go. Set that here. Hope you guys can see me. Yep, you're good. Okay.
So I'm going to describe what Ethan's doing right now. He's going to bend a 90. I believe that's what we're getting ready to do. So if you have the EMT, we bend this pipe. He's going to show you when it's done that it's going to be a 90-degree angle. Very important. You pay attention in math class.
A lot of math.
A lot of math. Electricians have to understand a lot about math. There's formulas and things that the guys use in the field, the guys and girls use in the field in order to calculate and do the right bends and things. But as you can see, he bent a 90-degree angle with the pipe. And actually what we'll do is we'll put this overhead, and that's where the wires run. So that's what we're doing right now, setting up for that.
Handy power tools, our saws and everything. Got my safety equipment on. And then we'll take another tool that we use quite a bit, our channel locks. Adjust every which way, but as you can see, some of the rubber's off on the bottom down here. And that's so I can ream pipe out, because after we cut it, it has these abrasive edges on it, which pulling wire and everything like that will damage our wire, cause us to maybe cause some sort of short circuit or something, allowing it to not work. I can get these adjusted right. And then just.
So what Ethan's doing now is he's going to put a coupling on. Again, this is a part of the install process. And just to reiterate what he's saying, one of the things that we stress to our apprentices or new electricians is that they make sure there's no burrs or anything in here, because if you guys know, wire has an outside, it's like a rubber outside coating that protects it. And if you pull this wire through this pipe and there's any type of abrasions or cuts, or that something that could cut the wire, then it could create a short. Okay, and again, science class, very important. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to that. So when the teachers are talking to you about electricity and how electricity works, we cover a lot of that in our apprenticeship program, because we feel like it's very important that you're a tradesperson, you're a tradesman, a tradeswoman coming in. It's very important to understand theory. It's important to understand circuitry. So a lot of the things that you're learning in class right now, even in middle school, going into high school, it all relates back to doing the job of electrician.
Speaking of abrasive, gotta ream this.
And now Ethan's tightening down the coupling. He's making sure the box is in place. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about. Taking the initiative, making sure things are right, workmanship, and completing everything. So.
Yep, and that's pretty much about a day-to-day, like kind of what we do is run a lot of pipe and a lot of wire pulling, or a lot of conduit, excuse me, and a lot of wire pulling. And it's fast paced, you got to be on your toes, but like Ben said, you have.
Where is RD Graham?
Where are we? We are located in Greensboro, North Carolina. And we work, this is where our home office is, and we have jobs we finally in the Piedmont Triad, but we go as far as Wilmington, and we're also in South Carolina some. And that is our presentation. Robin, I'm gonna turn it back over to you and to Chris. We look forward to questions at the end.
Great, thank you so much. And Sierra, if you will let Aaron in, I believe he's in the waiting room. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chris Benkoski and Aaron Watson with Electrical Technologies.
Good morning. This morning.
And if we can go ahead and start their presentation, please.
Good morning, folks. Everybody's having a good morning this morning. We appreciate everybody being here and giving us the opportunity to speak to you about the trades as a whole, not just the electrical industry, but the trades as a whole. Aaron and I are here this morning to actually discuss with you from the North Carolina Association of Electrical Contractors. ID Graham is an electrical contractor within the industry, and the North Carolina Association of Electrical Contractors represents several contractors within the industry. And we have an apprenticeship program as well that is part of the NCAEC, and it actually goes through the local community colleges. So if you happen to be near a community college, you actually have the opportunity to join an apprenticeship program through the NCAEC and be a part of that with your local community college. Could you change the slide, please? Aaron, are you on?
Ollie at almost $30 an hour.
Yeah, that's the median pay for, right? So after you guys actually have some experience, and you become an electrician, pay gets up there, in wages. And actually, you have an opportunity to go beyond $30 an hour if you do, work up. So you start out as a helper, or apprentice, you move on to an electrician or a mechanic or electrician. And then once you become mechanical electrician, and you learn management skills, you can then go to a foreman. And a foreman, they're in that pay range, right? And then there's even opportunity to grow from there into a project manager or a general foreman, general superintendent, where those rates actually increase from there, quite frankly. So, man, I think there's been thoughts in the past about the trades where people think that there's not a living wage there, but there is a living wage there. And if you go online and Google some of this stuff, you'll find that there is. And I'm going to skip the piece about what electricians do, because I think that Ben did a great job of going through and showing you guys a few things about what electricians do, right? Because we install and maintain electrical power. As far as the work environment, electricians work a lot if you so choose, right? You have the opportunity not to just make that up to 30 and exceeding $30 an hour, but then there's overtime involved in a lot of cases where you can, make additional money for that. And then, how to become an electrician, you usually start out as a helper and going through an apprenticeship program. at a technical school, at a local community college. And that gives you the opportunity to not just have the on-the-job training, which is required to do this, right? But also some book knowledge and theory and so on behind it. Next slide, please. You guys go to the next, there you go. Oh. Can we go back? There we go. This is one of the things I really wanted to point out to you guys, because this should be of great interest to you. And the reason being is that what it shows is that most folks, such as myself, quite frankly, are aging out of this trade, out of this industry. And by telling you that, it's telling you that there's opportunities available. There are as many people in the state of North Carolina that are over the age of 75 that have electrical licenses as those is under the age of 30. And that's huge. That's huge. What that says to me is opportunity for folks that want to get into it in the near future, because there's not many people there. And so that $30 an hour wage is probably going to go up as time goes in, because it's supply and demand. If there's a demand and there's no supply, people end up paying more. So again, it's opportunity. Can you hit the next slide, please? So this is showing some of those statistics there again, right? As far as upcoming needs in this industry, as well as others. But you can see in construction that right now there's approximately 517,000 electricians. In the next 10, well, actually 8 years now, there's going to be a need for another 50,000, right? An additional almost 10%. We just don't have those people available now. Forget about 8 years from now. They're not available now. And as you see, that is one of construction is one of the highest growing industries, according to this, right? This U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, which you'll see down in that bottom right-hand corner. So again, in the future, there's going to be a bigger need. There's already a huge need, but there's going to be a bigger need. So again, provides opportunity and job security for those that want to get into it. I see some, so are those numbers only North Carolina projections? No, it's industry wide. It's that is actually, I think that if we move forward, I think there might be some numbers in the state of North Carolina. You could go to the next slide. No, may not be. My apologies. No, that is just actually, or that is rather across the country. Those numbers are across the country. But North Carolina, will follow suit with that. North Carolina is a matter of fact, it may even be more, quite frankly, because of the growth that's being that's happening in North Carolina. As an example, Amazon's moving, got several distribution centers going across the state. Toyota is building the big battery plant in Randolph County. It's going to require a lot of people, not just at the initial installation, but then to maintain those facilities in the future. And some of the cool things about the battery plant as an example, there's going to be robotics and stuff that people get to wire up and then see them in motion, see it play. It's just cool stuff to be a part of. Like I was talking about, experienced electricians, they're retiring faster than ever. Partly because of the pandemic, it has increased it. The amount of people that are retiring at a faster pace. We need people to fill the shoes. You hit the next slide. So these are some of the ways that we're going to, cope with the shortage of electricians. Some of them are good. They're good ways to do it. Not all of them are, right? And so as an example, outsourced tasks that take up your electrician's time. This is actually pretty cool. Services like parallel wire reels can help you complete, at 50 to 70% faster. And what we mean by parallel wire reels is that it used to be that if you pulled in wires into a piece of conduit or pipe, like Ben and I believe Eric had showed you earlier, it used to be that you'd use 4 separate reels of wire to do that with. Now, the wire manufacturers are taking those 4 separate reels as an example and putting them together on one, so that you don't have to have a person standing in each reel to then work it. Now you have one, and you have other equipment. There's things such as wire tuggers that pull the wire into the conduit for larger wires. There's cable feeders that will take the wire off that reel and feed it into the conduit. And then at the opposite end, that wire tugger is pulling it. So that's one way to do it. Again, recruiting. You guys. Start with you guys. Right? That's what we're here to do, is to show you guys opportunity. So start talking to you guys and your friends about these opportunities to try and fill these gaps that we have within the system. Work with trade schools, like I talked about a moment ago, the community colleges. And, there are a lot of scholarships, and there are a lot of grants available for those that are interested, that quite frankly, you guys can start working in the industry, and on day one, you can be earning an income the first day you start. And while you're earning that income, somebody else will pay for potentially all anyway, of your scholarships or your tuition and books as well. You can walk out of having a degree in the electrical industry, all right, or a certification without any debt. And you've earned your way to doing it. I was at a apprenticeship conference yesterday where there were several apprentices through several industries that talked about what they have done. And I met a young lady by the name of Jamaica. She works for an electrical contractor. She is only 20 years old. Man, her and her sister bought a townhome because she's working. She's making money. She has the ability to do it at a young age without any debt to be able to earn that certification. Another way that we'll deal with the shortage is hire, skilled labor through staffing agencies. This one, there again, it still requires people. So it's not quite as good as some of the other options. And then improve productivity with software and planning. We need to maximize everybody's efforts in the future because there'll be a shortage. So we need to learn efficient ways of doing that. And part of that is actually through new technologies, new software that's available within the industry to do that. So there's what's called Bim modeling as an example. And what it does is it takes a facility or a building that everybody's working on, and it builds it in a 3D way so that you can actually see how everything is being placed in there before it's placed. There are cameras that go into buildings and they set them in the middle of the floor of a room, and it examines and what is there, puts it into software, and then tells you how you can do your installation the most efficient way without getting in other people's ways. So BIM technology is started out really in the bigger projects, but as time goes on, if you guys get into this industry, you'll see it where it's used probably everywhere, quite honestly, because it makes everything more efficient. It helps everybody to work together better. Can you hit the next slide, please? Hello? Can you hit the next slide? Thank you. So, this is just a little fun fact. If you guys happen to know who this guy is, I guess he trained to be an electrician. You hit it again. So Elvis Presley actually trained to be an electrician. I didn't know that. Still, we started looking into this a little bit. So my guess is that you guys might know who this guy is, but he was huge to your parents, if not grandparents. He made a big impact. He's the guy that actually brought around rock and roll. So the next one. So, why become an electrician? Why be interested in it? Hit it again, please. So, like I've been talking about with wages a little bit before, right? This is a graph of licensed electricians' wage gap by education. So, licensed electricians with an associate degree earn more than those without at $59,601 annually. With a bachelor's degree, licensed electricians earn a median annual income of $56,775, compared to $55,714 for licensed electricians with a master's degree. So again, you don't need a ton of education, right? You need good training. You need to know what you're doing. You need to have good work ethic. You need to make sure that you're showing up on time daily to the job site to then perform the tasks that need to be performed that day. But you don't need to spend a lot of money in education in order to make a similar wage to somebody that has. And you get to do different things within the electrical industry that are pretty darn cool, quite honestly. All right. There are opportunities to work with different softwares. There's opportunities to work with equipment that is coming up, like I said, in the future. There are one of the neat things that's happened over the last few years is that, as an example, drones have come into the construction industry. There are people that fly drones to look around and see what's been done and what may need to be done next, as an example, right? There are a lot of new technologies that are existing that are being entered into the construction industry. The construction industry for years has been behind as far as technology goes. COVID has really, and even prior to COVID, but COVID especially, has really taken it and moved it into the 21st century. There are really cool things that happen with these days. Smart homes, right? I mean, if you guys think about, as an example, Alexa works because of electricity. Alexa works because of what goes on behind the scenes with it. Alexa works because of the networking that the IT, right? All of the infrastructure for it. And electricians do a lot of that stuff. That's what we do. We give people the ability to cook at home, right? We give them the ability to turn on a light. We give them the ability to enjoy life the way that we enjoy it today. Without electricians, those things don't happen. Think about what would happen if you didn't have, well, like right now, right? We're all enjoying the opportunity to have lights on and to have this meeting, as an example. And most of that is because electricians provide the backdrop, the background for that to happen. And this graph shows that not only can you do cool things and make an impact on people's lives, but you get paid decently to do it, all right? Can you get the next slide? So this is one of the things I like about having the opportunity to do this as an apprentice, right? You gain experience immediately. Some people just don't perform best in a classroom environment. They're not the greatest test takers and prefer learning on a job. They'd rather get into the real world and build their resume with experience instead of education. And that's what this gives everybody here the opportunity to do. Anybody that's interested in it, you get to become hands-on right off the bat, right? In skilled trade careers, apprentices immediately work on projects and earn viable certifications. And that can be through individuals such as Ben and Artie Graham, or it can be through your local community college with the North Carolina Association of Electrical Contractors, where you get sponsored by an electrical contractor to go to your local community college, and you work with them during the day, and you take a 1 day a week, a class at the community college and get certified for this. Right? They're getting the price tag is more reasonable. A lot of people don't consider higher education because of its hefty price tag. According to the College Board, the average cost of tuition at a public college for an in-state student is about $10,000 per year. That's for an in-state student. So if you're going to for a 4-year degree, there's $40,000. And that's just the bottom line. It doesn't include some of the extra stuff, such as books and dorms and so on. I've got a brother that is a little younger than me. He's 48 years old, so it tells you my age a little bit. He still has debt. And there are a lot of folks his age that do. You can walk out of an apprenticeship program with no debt, and you're making an income. You can have a home. You can have a vehicle, and you can be helping people. You get the next slide, please. So, it takes about half the time. Again, while 4-year college students are in the classroom, trade skill students are graduates and earning an income after about 2 years. Actually, it's off the bat. You can do it from day one, like I've been talking about. I would advise you guys to go out and take a look, right, as to what you can make as a trade person. Give yourself some options. Give yourself some opportunities. There's a need, and skilled trade experts make a good living. Again, according to News and World Report, entry-level metal workers made an average of $52,000 annually in 2017. And it's not doing anything but going up. There's a huge need for master tradespeople. It's just huge. It's across the construction industry, not just electrical. And you get to do what you're good at, right? If you like working with your hands, you enjoy working with people to produce something, the trades are a good place to be. Get the next slide, please. This is just some information about the education levels for the trades. So as you can see, 4% as an example, up to 8th grade, 27% on the opposite end of it have a high school diploma or equivalent. You don't have to go through a formal education for it. And you can see on the right-hand side, by saving the student debt amount that you may have by formal education, these are things that you can do with it, like a 20% down payment on a $185,000 home, or buying a vehicle, as an example. So what you can do with that money that you save. I don't know, last slide, or is there another slide? As I said, we need you. We need you and your friends to get excited about the trades and to give it an opportunity. I would actually like to offer you guys to reach out to me, and we're actually going to have some training opportunities at our organization. My company is Electrical Technologies. We're going to be doing some training at our offices. There's also an apprenticeship contest Friday, April 1st. For the NCAC. It's taking place at the Greensboro Coliseum. Just as an example, for first, second, and third place prizes, there are over $1,000 per place. I think it's about $5,000 as for the first place winner that person will take away. So please reach out to me if you're interested. I'm all set. Questions?
Thank you so much for that presentation. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat. I see we've got one now. What kind of classes should students take in high school if they already know that they're interested in being an electrician?
I'm not sure. It depends on the actual school and what they have to offer. Certainly, there are some electrical courses that a lot of the schools offer. So, if they offer an electrical course, I'd be happy to, if you reach out to me, I would be happy to talk to you as well as your teacher and your parents to see what we can do to make sure that if there's not something at your school, that we get it going.
And Ben and Luke, did you guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, to follow up with Chris, it is a partnership with the schools to have those discussions. For us, we have created pre-apprenticeship programs with Davidson County schools. A lot of the schools, the school districts have the trades. It may be in another school, you have to travel to it or something like that, but they have electrical trades 1 and 2 in Davidson. Anything math, strong in math, I would encourage, you have to have math, but, and this is for the teachers and those that might be listening from the standpoint of just the shops where the trades in the schools is applicable math. And I know that's a tough subject there, but yeah.
Okay, awesome. And another question was, I think this might be in reference to the things that you mentioned about apprenticeships and like the competition. Do you guys have any informational posters or flyers that can be sent to use in the high school?
I know we do. We can, if I can work with Robin or point of contact, any of the teachers and students that we're working with right now, we'd love to share.
Yeah, that would be great.
We do as well. So again, if somebody reach out to us on how to get that information.
Yeah, if you guys could send those things to Robin, I'm sure she could make sure that they get out to all the teachers that are here to get today. We have another question. Do you have to go to trade school or can you go straight to an apprenticeship?
You can go straight to an apprenticeship.
Yes.
Something that we work with together with somebody, right? And there again, that's the best, that's one of the great, in my opinion, one of the greatest things about it is that you get to start immediately on your education as well as learning on the job, because you're going to be with an employer as well as a school, and it's a hand-in-hand thing. They go together.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. Our program, we recruit heavily out of the high schools and they come straight to us. And ours is hybrid. So to sort of follow up with Chris, we have 160 hours in classroom in our training facility, and then they have 2,000 hours in the field, which is supervised with competency checks. So yeah, you can come right in and start to work.
Awesome. Another question is, if you go straight into the apprenticeship, will you be able to make as much money as somebody with a degree?
For us, no. Ours, and I'm just being honest, we take people in with no experience. If they do have experience coming in, that is part of the consideration for their salary. But I will tell you this. If you're hired by us in the apprenticeship program, you are a full-time paid employee with benefits. And then we have a progressive pay scale. So we do start at $12 an hour. We're working to get it up to the minimum wage rate that we know is coming. I know a lot of the industry is struggling with this. But the progressive pay scale is that throughout all 4 years, you receive a pay raise. So at the end of your 4th year, as long as you're meeting the criteria of the apprenticeship program, you're guaranteed $20 an hour. And we also have a succession plan for our employees. So case in point, Ethan and I were talking a minute ago. Ethan is very close to becoming a lead in the field. So if they perform well, they have the opportunity to make more than, the $20 that I was speaking of in less than 4 years. So it's really merit earned.
That would be the same for us. It really depends on the individual. I mean, certainly there are guarantees along the way, such as Ben just talked about. But if you come in and your work ethic is phenomenal, you're at the top of your game, you're ahead of everybody else, everything takes work. And if somebody tells you otherwise, they're lying to you. All right, no matter what you do in life, it takes work. If you get what you give. If you give forth effort and you work towards not just a paycheck, but a career, and you have the knowledge, people can't take that knowledge away from you. But what you can do with that knowledge is that you can increase your ability in life to do the things that you want to do. So it depends on you.
Thank you guys so much for those answers. And another question, I know you guys mentioned these apprenticeships. Are you either of you guys aware of any like youth apprenticeships that they can start in high school before they even graduate, or are they just apprenticeships that you start as soon as you graduate?
I know Chris probably has a little bit more background in this. For us, we continue to work with the area high schools. And so the pre-apprentice is 16 years. So they can start as early as their junior year. And we also are working on internship programs. And I know Chris is probably also investigating this, but again, that's the relationship that we try to forge for the students, and giving them these options. And teachers need to ask the questions, school administrators need to ask, and even start out with reaching out to your local electrical company and maybe asking them to support.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's something that's really in its infancy for the most part with everybody. And a big piece of it, the reason why it's in its infancy is because it's about education. And it's not just about education for you guys that listen. It's about education of your school. It's about education of the administrative staff within your school and your teachers within your school and the counselors, as well as parents, right? Because there has been this whole thing, this stigma about the trades where literally I have heard of where there's been a counselor that has a poster on their wall that shows somebody that looks like a construction worker, and there's a circle and a slash through it saying, don't let this be you.
Yeah.
That is not, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people across the country that love doing construction and make a great living doing it. Because part of the reason why they love it is because they're able to help other people with things that impact their lives. I'll be happy to, as I said before, for any of you guys that want to reach out, I'll be happy to sit down with your teachers, the school, your parents, and have a conversation with them to help guide them, right? Educate them about this by showing them some of the stuff that we showed you today.
Awesome. And I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up now. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Ben Thomas and Ethan Lynch at Artie Graham. Thank you, Chris Binkowski and Aaron Watson at the North Carolina Association of Electrical Contractors. We're so grateful to have you guys here today. That was a great presentation. If anybody does have any other questions, feel free to message those to Robin Mooring, and she can make sure that they make it to the right people. And like we said before, Ben and Chris, if you guys have any information you want us to send out to the teachers, please go ahead and message that to Robin as well. And just a reminder to all the teachers, please make sure to fill out those feedback surveys or have your students fill out those feedback surveys that were sent to you. And thank you guys again for coming today.
Thank you for the time.
Everyone have a great day. Bye.
You as well. Bye-bye.